This is how I keep my ridiculously large pores clear and blackhead free using a bonus ingredient along with a simple pore strip. Use whatever pore strip you like. Biore is the OG of pore strips. I think we all know that. They're a little bit pricey right now, so I found two cost-efficient brands. This one from the Dollar Tree. It is a 3-pack for $1.25, and Big Lots has a 6-pack for $2.29. Both of these are just as effective. These are going to be removing sebaceous filaments that are clogging up your pores. That's basically the oil, dead skin cells, little bits of flaky skin. Also blackheads. This will remove blackheads for sure. A lot of us have these on our nose. And also little tiny hairs. You'll notice when you pull this off. If you have any hairs on your nose, you will be pulling those off as well. There's no reason that you need to remove those, it's just also going to remove them. And the results will be that this creates a clearer skin surface. It's going to remove everything from the pore. It's going to make skincare application a little bit smoother, and also your makeup apply a little bit nicer on top of your skin. And really importantly, do not cause any additional skin damage by overusing these. Just use them twice a month or once a month. I checked with my dermatologist and she said it's okay as long as you're not using this more than every other week. And here is my bonus tip. It is salicylic acid. This is going to be something you're going to apply for about 10 minutes before you put the actual strip onto your nose. I'm going to explain how to use it. It really helps this work so much better than just the strip alone. We're going to start by washing the face very gently but thoroughly. And if you want to follow along, there's a video prior to this with my simple face wash that's very thorough. I would do that before applying the strips. This is a really great face wash just for the evening, and it really cleans the skin if you have oily skin like I do. There's also some face washes that Bioderma has that are for sensitive and regular skin types that I really highly recommend. I'm going to leave my eye makeup on until the last step once I remove the pore strip. And now I'm going to add the salicylic acid. I like this one from Paula's Choice a lot. It's very multi-use for me. And also this one, Rapid Clear from Neutrogena, is perfect. It has the little tiny pads already, so I'm just going to grab one of these and swipe it onto my nose. I'm going to save this for after because I'm going to post use this when I remove the pore strip, and just let that sit for 10 minutes. These two are almost identical and as far as texture is concerned, and I see that the one from Big Lots is a tiny bit bigger. If the strip doesn't already have little tiny slots in some of these spots, you can use the scissor to cut beforehand so it can make the slots. This one already has it. I think the one from Dollar Tree doesn't. So if you need to, just cut little slits and it will really help to spread out the strip onto your nose. Now the 10 minutes are over, I'm going to rinse off the salicylic acid from my nose, and I really want my nose to be very saturated with water, so I'm just going to do a couple splashes of water on this area. And let's peel off this strip and just stretch it out a tiny bit. Make sure those slits kind of come apart. There we go. And you're going to want to put the little divot side down. Don't do it the other way around. That's the wrong way. And there's a part that's sticky. The sticky part you want onto your skin. And just smooth that down, especially where you really have a lot of blackheads. To make sure it's really smooth at the corner of your nose. For me, it's like really bad right in here. If you have a super small nose, I don't have a small nose, but if you have a really small nose, you're gonna know ahead of time that you may need to cut a little bit. That's okay. It's just like paper mache, and beforehand you can cut any of the spots. This I could have cut, but I'm just gonna curve it down a little bit. You don't want to block off your nostrils so you can't breathe. And one really important tip is to add extra water onto the pore strip. They never mention this in the instructions, but I found that this really helps it stick much better because there'll be like little bubbles in some parts sometimes. And just use some water to push it down all the way. Make sure there's no bubbles and you're ready to go. Let this dry for 10 to 15 minutes. You're gonna wanna make sure this is really dry before you pull it off. If there's any spots that are kind of still wet, just wait. Let it dry all the way through. If you want to use this for your chin or even your forehead, any other areas that have excess blackheads or sebaceous filaments, you can just cut these to fit those spots and spaces. Just do the same thing with the salicylic acid, waiting 10 minutes and then applying the pore strip to fit those parts of your face. I hit the 10-minute mark, but it's still not dry. I think it's because I added the excess water on top, so I'm just going to add about 5 more minutes. So you want to make sure this is like really bone dry. This took about 17 to 18 minutes to thoroughly dry. They say 10 to 15 minutes, but I added that extra water to make sure it really stuck down really well with no bubbles. So that's why I have the extra drying time needed, but make sure it's super, super dry. Like, oh, it's like not tacky at all. And now you're ready to peel off. And start from the bottom. I've seen people pull from the top. I don't know why they're doing that. Honestly, this is where there's so many clogged pores. So you just want to start from the bottom on both sides and meet to the middle. Do this really slowly. Do you want to see this? Mine is actually not so bad anymore, and that's because I do this once or twice a month, and then I also use the salicylic acid 2 to 3 times a week to keep my pores really clear. When I started using this, it looked so like there's just so much going on coming out of my pores. So I know now what I'm doing is really working to keep my pores clear, and the salicylic acid as that bonus benefit is really helping a lot to clear out my large pores in my nose and to keep those blackheads at bay. Next, you're going to want to rinse off any of the leftover residue from the pore strip. It has like a little bit of a glue to it, so it sticks to your skin a tiny bit. And since my goal is to keep those large pores clear and no blackheads, I like to add that additional salicylic acid on top after I washed and dried off any of that residue. I'm not going to rinse this off after it dries. I'm going to apply the rest of my skincare.